Morning, guys. It's Sunday, and I'm out here having a walk. Got up a little later. I went bed a bit later. I want to start watching that actually. I'm starting to find myself go to bed a bit late. It doesn't do the anxiety any good the next day, especially if you're feeling a bit tired and you didn't get enough sleep. And you start, that starts playing wonders with your anxiety, that bit of tiredness. But just see my mate Snoop up the road. I was out up the other end and got a message. And he's like, "Where you at?" I said, "I'm out walking." Sent him a quick picture of where I was actually at. And he turned up and we chatted for a little bit. Drove by in his car. He must have been like nearby and he pulled around him. It was good to see him. I ain't seen him in a while. He's another one of those brothers that I have, one of those that I surround myself with. And it's good to have people like that around you that you know. I've got a few mates like that. I don't even call mates anymore, they're family to me. And it's just nice to know that you have that loyalty, that commitment around you. And I them too. So anyway, I wanted to talk this morning. This came to mind this morning about teaching your kids. Teaching your kids what you're learning as far as the mind. I tell all my guys that I work with, hey, listen, if you got kids or grandkids or little ones around, start teaching them what I'm teaching you. Because we got a serious problem in the country. Everybody's saying COVID. Yeah, I know that's a problem, and it was a bigger problem than what it is now. But you know why I say that? I say that, yeah. It's still a problem. I'm not denying that. It's still a problem. But you know, when we talk about mental health, I'm talking about the comparison. And then you look at young kids and where they're at and how they're growing up, and they have these issues that go on at school and college and not knowing what to do with it with their own mind. It doesn't do any good because they haven't got the tools. And I honestly believe that, you know, hey, let me into a school and teach this, so we can start teaching some kids. But you know, people scream and say, "Ah, it's religion," and it's no. I don't class myself as any one thing. I class myself as everything. And this is about, it's nothing to do with religion, right? There's no preaching or anything like that. This is about teaching a young one how to start working with their mind, because it's scary. We're very quick to discipline. We're quick to say, no, we can't do that, we can't do this, don't do that, you know. We're quick to do that. But how about teaching the mind what to do when certain things come up, so that they're going to be able to handle it later on? I honestly think if there was a class in school, it'd be a great idea to get that going and get a class going in schools to where it's literally teaching these young ones what to do in certain situations and using tools. Meditation, teaching meditation. It's not religion, guys. Everybody screams religion. It's not religion. It's part of some people's religion, maybe, but at the core of meditation is not religion. It's about quietening the mind. It's about looking at your thinking and allowing the thinking. What do we teach our kids? To respond, right? To react, basically, because they see us doing it. And all the while they're seeing us do it, they're getting taught that way. Teach them, show them. Talk to their emotions. When they're crying and they come to you, it's not a matter of don't cry. It's a matter of why. What's the problem? What's going on? What's the emotion? Let's look at that. Where's it coming from? Allow them to be honest with you. Be open. You know, as parents, I think sometimes we can be a bit shut off and not allow them to see that, hey, that might be hurting because of X, Y, Z. And allowing them to be able to voice that without any kind of feeling that they're going to be judged or feeling that they're in trouble, or if I say this, that ain't going to be good, they ain't going to want to hear this. Allow them to be open and honest with you. And if you allow that honesty and you allow them to be open, then they're going to be more inclined to come to you and say, I'm not happy right now. Even if they're not happy with you, it's okay. I brought my girls up to understand that I'm always there no matter what. And they're always able to come to me. Morning. Always able to come to me. If they ever want to discuss something, either come to me or their mum. Their mum is wide open too. And if you can keep that kind of communication going with your kids, with your young ones, it's gonna allow them to express themselves better. Because a lot of these kids, I think, are very confused as well. You know, they get into those areas where they feel trapped. They don't know what to do with it because their mind's telling them one thing. And you know, they may have something going on to where they're like, oh, you know, my parents ain't going to be happy with that. Well, it's only because we've allowed them not to be open to be able to come to us and speak about it. So what are we teaching them if we're teaching them to not be honest and open and come to us? Teaching them to do this. Close in. Keep it to yourself. And once you start doing that and they're not able to release any of that and they don't know what it is, that gets buried, held onto. And then later on in life, you're going to start coming up with things where that's interfering and they don't know where it's coming from because it's buried in the subconscious mind. Allow them to be free with their speech. Yes, not in a disrespectful way, of course. There's always respect. Even myself now, there's respect for people. Always hold that respect for people. Don't think that because you're bigger and more, don't think you're bigger and more or high or mighty than someone else. Because now you've got a problem there, your ego's getting in the way. Teach your kids. Teach them that, hey, listen, you may be afraid, you may be scared, but you know what? Hang on, I've got to rescue this worm. Give me a sec, here we go. But you know what? You may be afraid, but what is it you're afraid of? Talk to that piece. What is it? Don't be, I know we do it out of the kindness of our heart and we'll say, oh, there's nothing to be scared about. Maybe nothing to be scared about because you're not scared of it. So now you're saying, there's nothing to be scared about, I'm not scared, look. But they are. So now if you're saying that, they're going to bury that fear. They're going to have that fear anyway. They're going to look at you as, oh shit, they don't fear, I've got to be like that. Oh, fear, I'm not allowed to fear. Then what happens? Now you're walking around, and now that child's going to walk around when they grow up thinking that they can't fear something. And when they do fear it, they fear even more. Because they're fearing and they don't know what to do with that. They don't know what to do with that emotion. So teach them, guys. Teach your kids from little. Once they start understanding what the breath is, you know, teach them. Teach them. Even if you was to take a napkin or something, damp it down, wipe it around here on them, not wet. You just want to damp it, and then tell them to breathe in. Have them to breathe through their nose first, and concentrate on the air around their nostrils, and then just damp around the nostrils and tell them to do it again. The volume goes up. They actually feel it better. I do that with my guys too. Hey, damp around your nostrils. If you're not quite understanding what the air is feeling like, if you damp around your nostrils and then breathe, you'll feel the air. It turns the volume up on it. Now you can tune into that, and then you won't need that. You won't need the moisture anymore because you'll know what to tune into. So teach your kids, guys. Stay the course. Namaste.